Well, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy NXTGEN720, and I'm back with another video. I know I've been kind of dragging my feet. I've been bullshitting. I've been telling you guys that we're going to go around the gaming community and just, start doing, one-on-ones with people within the gaming community. I just haven't had time. But I'm gonna start this week. I'm gonna try to give you guys at least once or two a week, like maybe once or twice a week. I'm sorry. Give you different interviews with different people within the gaming. Oh wait, hold on one second. Okay, all right, I'm sorry about that. Different interviews with different people within the gaming industry. So like I said, I have two special guests. I have two special guests. Would you guys introduce yourself? We got here T Reaper. Get introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from.
Hey guys, T Ripper here. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, and thanks so much for having me on the show.
Okay. And my next guest I have.
Hey, it's Zero Pro Killer here, and I'm from Tampa, Florida.
All right, Tampa, Florida. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions about yourselves before we get started. Let introduce you to the audience. Do any of you guys do YouTube or anything like that?
I do mine.
Who's just T Reaper speaking?
Yep.
You have a
And
channel?
yep, the channel is called T Reaper.
Okay,
T
what I do is
capital T
yeah,
space
no, what I know,
Reaper.
what I do is just I'll leave a link in the description. You go after the show, just give me a link to your channel. How about you, Cyril? Do you do YouTube also?
Yeah, YouTube, and I have over 100,000 subscribers. My YouTube, I just do gun sing, but I
Oh,
have over 100 views with that, so it's really cool. So hopefully check it out. It's,
right. All right. So what I do is I get the link to both of you guys' channels, and I'll leave them in the description box below, so people want to subscribe. They can go by and check out your guys' stuff. All right. So like I said, the first thing is this rumors. We have I should say these new hardware from Microsoft and Sony that's rumored to come out I guess this fall. Uh, the PlayStation 4K. I've heard a few things from a few people within the community. I'm sorry, within the industry. I'm not going to say they're true. Like I said, they're both rumors until they are, announced or whatever the case from Sony or even Microsoft. But how do you guys feel about that? Sony. We start with Sony about them may releasing a slightly more powerful. What's it? This is two times the power of the current GPU. Um, how do you guys feel about that? Is it think it's too soon? Is it a cash grab? What are your thoughts?
um, well, I'm not much of a PlayStation fan, so I really don't care what PlayStation comes out with. Um, Microsoft, on the other hand, there's other things to talk about them when that question comes up. But like I said, PlayStation, I really don't care what they come out with. So that's my thoughts on that.
Well,
Um,
not that you care. I'm not asking that you care, but what do you think? The rumors are true? Do you think it's stupid,
Um,
or it's was based?
well,
You don't have to be a Sony. You don't have to be an Xbox guy, or just we're gonna put. I should say the consoles of choice to decide. Just gamer talk. We're just talking games. Now, what I'm saying is that the PlayStation 4 came out in well, both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One both came out in November of 2013. Do you think it's too soon for Sony to be reintroducing new hardware into the channel, whatever into the market? You think it's too soon for that, or what about them? What's about as a gamer, as a consumer? So, say if you just bought your PlayStation 4 5 months ago, how would you feel as a consumer?
well, it's kind of similar to what Apple's doing. They're coming out with Apple's coming out with an iPhone every year, and why should PlayStation 4 or PlayStation itself come out with another console? Um, Xbox not going to, so um, PlayStation. I think they're trying to prove to Xbox that they could, win the console of the year, or just win company of the year kind of thing. And they're gonna try to prove Microsoft wrong, but that's not gonna happen. So I think it's too soon.
Okay. All right, T Reaper, what are your thoughts about this, T Reaper?
I think that Sony is just trying to go for a cash grab, and if this new model turns out to be true, they want to prove to their consumer that they are playing on the best system that streams 4K, that basically they can play their games on higher resolution, and basically prove to the consumer that they care about the product that they give them.
All right, so let me ask you a question. All right, okay, I got you. Now, okay. All right, so do you think that Nintendo may, have anything to do with it? Because this room, like it's not even rumored, but the Nintendo NX is coming out this holiday season again. And we're talking about the big three. And so for a while, it has been only really the big two, Microsoft and Sony, going at it, toe to toe, blow for blow. Uh, Nintendo has, not even my opinion, but even their Iwata, when God bless the dead, he said himself that Nintendo doesn't do well at competing. So it's always been Microsoft and Sony competing for, I guess, the hardcore gamer, and then Nintendo's it's kind of been off to the left, just getting the stragglers of people that still holds on to nostalgia and wants, with the Mario and the Zelda. Me personally, like I said, I don't suffer from nostalgia. I got a saying, I've grown up with Nintendo, but Nintendo hasn't grown up with me. You know what I mean? The NES was my first console, if you don't know. And I've owned just about every console to name to date. I went back at some of the older ones, and it's like it's a hobby of mine, just even me collecting them. Um, but even like I said, even I promise I take the Wii U for example, and I bought the Wii U, and I'm a person that don't trade in anything, but when I hopped on the Wii U, it felt like I was taking a step back. What I mean by that is they couldn't do the basic things that I was used to doing online, or just the basics that I've been usually doing with the 360, or even the OG Xbox, to have voice chat mandatory in every game, and to seeing game invites and just basic stuff like that. Like I couldn't do on the Wii U, and I was like, oh my god, like what the hell is this? So I was like completely turned off by the system. Because me, like I said, for me to be gaming on, not just me, a lot of people, what I mean, that have kind of gravitated on after Nintendo are used to playing online and used to, multitasking, doing all X, Y, and Z with their consoles. And you can't do any of that with the Wii U. And so I think a lot of people were put off by that. And it's besides the whole tablet controller and, and it's not being, how should I say, as now it was more powerful than the 360 and the PS3, but they put out a quote unquote a next generation console that couldn't run any next generation engine. So then you had a console that's only really going to be supported by Nintendo as far as their exclusive, because once the third party started making, with Unreal Engine 4 or whatever engines, Snowdrop engines or the Cry engines, could none of those engines run on the Wii U. So you had a console that was out that can only, like I said, be supported by Nintendo. And like I said, I'm a firm, not even a firm believer, it's the truth, that you got to have a console, meaning multi-plats rule, because you get multi-plats every Tuesday or so, at least 3-4 times a month. Exclusives come out every 3 to 4 months. I don't care whether you're Microsoft, Nintendo, or your Sony. That's just the nature of the beast. You don't get exclusives every month because they cost so much money to make. You get, like I said, exclusives every 3 to 4 months. They gotta promote or market it and all stuff like this. But anyway, rumors are floating around. Well, not only saying rumors, but the Nintendo NX is coming out, and it is going to be more powerful than the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. You know what I mean? And and it's so, and Sony's whole thing this generation has been they're the most powerful console on the market. I mean that's been their claim to fame. Now here it is, you come to Nintendo. Now, and a lot of, like I said, maybe they're showing their age, or maybe just talking shit, or whatever the case may be. And excuse my French, so I'm not trying to curse so much, but we're talking about a quote unquote ninth generation system, which is the Nintendo NX. There's no way in hell that it can be on par with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. The chips that went inside the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 were talked about, or just thought about and brought up in 2011. They probably were in production in 2012. The system was released in 2013. You understand what I'm saying? Now here you have the Nintendo NX that's coming out in 2016. And what probably was discussed about to go in that box was in 2014, maybe even early 2015. It's probably in production in the end of 2015, or you know what I mean. So it can, you know, and it's going to come out this year. It's going to be, you know, mass production for the holiday season. Anyway, I said that to say this again. So this leaves Microsoft and Sony in a very situation, especially Microsoft. I'll come to Microsoft in a minute. And here it is: if Nintendo NX comes out, and say their console, you know, Nintendo, well, this Nintendo of the now, um, they I guess don't want to be too pricey, but they say $400, $400 or whatever the case. Not too bad. With the how much is the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 both $350, $300? You're gonna have a console that's more powerful. At a minimum, can probably run all of the multiplats at a locked 1080p 60 frames a second. Boom. Now you have Sony, who's invested in heavily into this VR, right? Into this VR. Now hear me out. Now right away, they're already the how should I say the weakest device in terms of VR on the market behind the Oculus Rift and behind the HTC Hive or Vive, whatever the hell you want to call it. Now Sony is marketing their device as a a low end VR machine. You know what I mean? So I heard one of the rumors saying that the reason why they are coming out with this quote unquote PlayStation 4K is to give the VR more processing power. You know what I mean? Now, through history, people were saying, how should I say this? Well, they don't want to be. It's not going to happen because you see what happened to Sega when Sega put all these the 32X. You guys, I don't know how old you are. You may not remember that, but Sega had the 32X, and then they had the Sega, you know, the CD drive, all these different attachments to make the Genesis stronger. They were just coming out, which kind of fragmented the community. But this, Microsoft and Sony won't have that problem because again, they can put out just say slightly more powerful hardware and can run games at a high. Well, won't even say take because again, if you don't know, resolution does not equal better graphics. It's the textures and the shaders. That's what gives you better graphics. Nothing to do with the resolution. Okay. Now they can put out a game. I don't know if you guys ever played on PC, but not everyone has the same goddamn GPU. You know, you have some people maybe play on a 980. Some people may have a 560 Ti, but we're still able to enjoy the same games, quote unquote, on PC. It's just that some people with higher, rigs can run the game at higher settings. You know what I mean? And it will look better than the people playing the same game at lower settings. That's all to me that it would be. You know what I mean? Like I said, where there's smoke, there is fire. Me personally, I know I'll be kind of long-winded here. I'll get back to you guys in a minute. I don't have a problem with any of this. You know what I mean? I hear some people in the community say, "Well, that's not fair. I just bought my PlayStation 4 last year. It's cool. You don't have to upgrade. You don't have to, and you can still enjoy the same games as everyone else." The people that are complaining, it's like me. I bought a Samsung, and I went from iPhone to back to Android, and I got the Samsung Galaxy 6 Edge. I just got that a few months ago, and now here they're out with this with the 7 Edge. You don't see me complaining. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, so like I said, you buy what you can afford. You're gaming what you can afford. You know what I mean? But for me, like I said, with their smoke, there was fire. And what I've heard, I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not gonna do that. But both when Microsoft is kind of holding their cards close to their chest, but with Sony, these leaks are done intentionally, I guess, to gauge interest and or how people want to take it. You know, what I mean, like I said, some people are like, come on, give me more power. Give me more power because at the end of the day, these consoles were a step behind in terms of in terms of power. You know what I mean? Both of them, just be honest in here, they're not world beaters. They both struggle to do games at 1080p 60 frames per second, which is a very, very old format. So, Microsoft, what do you think they stand in this? Do you think they're just going to sit on their hands and not do nothing? Or are they going to, like I said, this is a business, and they're already behind Sony, or are they going to come out swinging and try to compete? You guys can go for T Reaper. You can go first, and then Cyril. How do you feel?
You want me to answer the Microsoft or the entire space?
I think Microsoft is going to sit on if Sony releases this new console, this PlayStation 4K, right? Do you think Microsoft is going to sit on their hands and just wait this out to the next generation, or are they going to, introduce a slightly more powerful console to the market also?
I can't really speak on what Microsoft is going to do because, like you said, it's rumors. But as a gamer, I see Microsoft. I don't see them going quietly into the night without some, under the hood, spectacular, surprise that's going to blow everybody away. But then
Hmm.
again, we have all this biased media. So I think even if Microsoft does do this, yes, it will, definitely please their consumers and will definitely please their gamers. But in the eyes of the media, they're just going to keep getting shot. But and all Microsoft really cares about is their consumer. They care about the gamer. They care about, as long as they're happy, that makes them happy as well.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna come back to Cyril in a second. And like I said, and a lot of Xbox gamers, I'll be honest with you, a lot of fans are tired of getting shit on. You know what I mean? They're tired of getting the Mii's, 900p's, the 720p's. You know what I mean? Like
Can
I
I
said,
can I say something on that real quick?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
I want to say something. All right, to me as a gamer, I don't care if it's 720p, 900, or 1080. It don't matter to me. If the game looks enticing and it looks entertaining, nobody should really care what the graphics look like as long as it's an enticing game, it's an entertainment game, and it pulls you in. No one cares. 10 years ago when everything was 480 and then 360 came out and the highest the 360 went at the end was 720p. And now in this generation, everybody cares how a game looks, what the system can output. It all, in the consumer eyes, they want better product, they want better graphics. But to a gamer, it shouldn't matter what it looks like. It should matter how it entertains you and what kind of experience it gives you.
See, in the perfect world, you're
In
right.
a perfect world, that would be the case, but we don't live in a perfect world. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. All right. So, Cyril, what do you have to add to that, Cyril?
Um, I agree with him on Microsoft probably. This is a hard question because um, okay, I think that Microsoft is gonna see what PS4 comes out with first, and then they're gonna react afterwards. I think that's my thought on that.
All right. So, all right. Okay. All right. Let me get this right. So, you would think it would be smarter them to just wait? Now you're already getting your teeth kicked in to wait and let Sony get the pounce on them and then come out and react?
Because they
Or
want to.
because I would say this because end of the day, they may not know what Sony may be coming out with, but they use the same goddamn developers. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm quite sure just like we're hearing rumors, they hearing the rumors also. And I'm trying. They both of them, how you say, they partake in high risk espionage. They probably got spies over there, and Sony probably got spies over in the Microsoft camp. It is what it is. So you think it would be in Microsoft best interest to wait on Sony to make a move first?
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because if Microsoft waits, they can see what PlayStation is going to come out with, and if PlayStation comes out with something amazing and grateful for the community of gaming, then maybe Microsoft can top that off with something better. So I think they should wait.
Okay, all right. You know what? Oh, here's check it out. I'm from the mind frame of this. Check it out because with Microsoft now you have quote unquote Phil Spencer's in charge, right? You have Phil Spencer in charge, and everyone says he's for the gamer. He's for the gamer, right? He's for the gamer. This is what he, this is um what they always said about Phil Spencer. A lot, and like I said, me personally, like I said, I gamed on everything. I'm an Xbox fan foremost. I prefer the Xbox platform, but I don't I'm a big God of War fanboy. It's one of my favorite fucking games. Now, with that being said, like I said, I don't restrict myself from playing a certain game because it's on the platform, not on my favorite platform. I'm not one of those type of person, you know what I mean? But everything, 99.9% of my gaming is done on the Xbox One or on Microsoft's platforms, period. Now, with that being said, it kind of baffled the hell out of me that Microsoft would gimp their hardware to include a peripheral. You seen Nintendo just get their fucking jaw shattered where, they included the Wii U tablet would actually cost more than the actual goddamn system. You know what I mean? And then you had Microsoft force this peripheral of the Kinect, which I love. I'm not into motion gaming and all that weird shit there, but I've been I'm a YouTube content creator. I can record my game, Xbox record that Xbox on, and I got my daughter in here screaming commands. Xbox record it. I see the use in it, but here it is. You push the console out at $500, where your biggest competitor was $400, and then you didn't even have any software to justify the price, which was to connect. You didn't even have any software to utilize the goddamn thing. So it's like I seem like Microsoft, all the damage that Microsoft has done to themselves this generation, besides the media, they seem like to me they have done it to themselves. You know what I mean? Instead of them
Yeah.
just swallowing their pride, take the goddamn Connect out the box. I mean, what you took out anyway. First they were saying the Xbox will never be sold without the Connect. Once sales start to lag behind, 6 months later they take the goddamn Connect out of the box. They should have took the Connect out of the box and sold the Xbox One at $350, because that was the price tag for the Connect at launch. They could probably sold a bundle with it, bundle without it. I still would have bought I'm always gonna have the biggest and baddest. I still would have bought the version with the Connect, but they should have sold the quote unquote the Xbox One without the Connect. Okay, and like I said, and spent more, or a few extra dollars, because it's not, like I said again, it's not that the PlayStation 4 is that much more powerful than the Xbox One. It's not. I have both systems, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit there and lie and say that the PlayStation 4 GPU is not more powerful. It has more shaders. That's a fact. It's like, there's no going around that. And like I said, now what we know now, the Xbox One was made for Windows 10 and DirectX 12 and all this stuff right there. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, but none of that stuff was ready at launch. You know what I mean? So, like I said, Microsoft was a victim of their own success, because when they launched the Kinect, what was this the how you say, the best selling peripheral of all time. So like in gangbusters, that was like them relaunching the goddamn Xbox 360. Never in the history of gaming, like I said, you had generations go 8 to 9 years. It's never happened. And even when the Xbox One came out and the PlayStation 4, uh, they're still supporting the PS3 and the 360 as far as third party. You understand what I'm saying? Now, with sports titles, shit, it was 2 years ago they were still releasing FIFA for the PlayStation 2. You got to realize this. In a lot of those third world countries, while we're just not getting any Xbox One, they're just not getting the 360 and the PS3. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, I know about that because I was talking to a guy in
yeah, so that's,
in
I mean, it's,
country like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, and like I said, and again, it's like Microsoft, is the victim of their own success, because the 360 is the goddamn console that won't die. Now, for me, this is my mind frame. But like I said, so I'm not going to say what I heard. I heard a few things, but this that that I mean, Microsoft reintroducing a slightly beefier Xbox One, just say that, into the on the market, and knock the Xbox One down to about 250, that can phase out the 360, so they can finally close the door on that console there, okay? And because there's still about 40 million gamers, there's 30 million gamers that are still on the 360. You know what I mean? Microsoft has to close that chapter on that console there, but it's so hard to do because you got over damn near 60 million Xbox Live subscribers that pay every year. So you know what I mean, that it has, like I said, that has yet to upgrade and make that move. You know what I mean? Did Microsoft lose some customers to Sony? Yeah, they did. I mean, what I mean, with the whole DRM and the whole quote unquote 720p and all that shit there. Then you had GameStop with their bias shit, you know what I mean, with their own agenda, pushing Sony things. See me, like I said, I do this here, don't say for a living, but I do this, you know what I mean? I got, quote unquote, my finger on the pulse. There's been many times I walked into GameStop and they'll try to push stuff. Let me get The Witcher, and they will try to push the PlayStation 4 version on me. Why? No, Sony, the Xbox Ones is only 900p, and you know what I mean? Like me personally, like I said, I don't game on PC, so that resolution stuff doesn't, it's not a big deal to me. The Xbox One has a great upscaler, the HANA chip, like I think it's 2.0, whatever the case may be. No one has a 900p television. You understand what I'm saying? So this is going to be upscaled anyway. But like I said, this will be an ingenious way for them to release a slightly beefier Xbox One. Hear me out. Now, this rumor, you don't know, this rumor came out in 2014 that Microsoft was going to release several SKUs of the Xbox One, a low end, a mid range, and a high end version. You know what I mean? This came out in 2014. And the guy that leaked that, or made the announcement, I forget his name. He also made the announcement about Fallout 3, and when it was releasing and all this stuff. I'm not a Fallout fan, so it really didn't make I mean, it is what it is. I didn't really care for me to hop on it and me didn't mention it. I don't play Fallout. I don't like Fallout. You know what I mean? So like I
Yeah.
said, where there's smoke, there's fire. Then you had Phil come out with 2 months ago and say that that we're stuck in these static boxes. What I mean, for 7 years, and technology is the truth though. What this is? Listen, I swear to God, if you think about it like this, guys, the reason why the PC elitists shit on console guys because consoles are holding PC back, and the same reason why people with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 shit on the 360 and the PS3 owners because they're holding back the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. If you look at it like this, you take a game like in Microsoft, they need to stop. A game like Tomb Raider should have never came out on the 360. You understand what I'm saying? Even though you had two separate teams make that game, Tomb Raider, but it still had to be made around the parameters of DirectX 9 and a half a gigabyte of RAM. I don't care how shiny the Xbox One version. Could you imagine if that game could have been built from the ground up for the Xbox One and not trying to shoehorn on it in on the 360? You understand what I'm saying? You take games like Destiny, how great those games would have been if they only focused on next generation. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying, Microsoft, they can't sit back and wait on their hands. They can't. You know what I mean? Because they're already getting their motherfucking teeth kicked in. And not sit back, because one thing we can say for certain, Sony can't outspend Microsoft, okay? People say, what Microsoft got to do? All they got to do is don't cut any goddamn corners. You know what I mean? Release a capable goddamn console. No more should we go back, because this, quote unquote, that this is the day and age of uh, digital foundry. What I mean? Could you imagine? Look at it like this, guys. Could you imagine that digital foundry get a version of Call of Duty? You have a Wii U version. Let's say there's this 1080p, 60 frame lock. Then you got the PlayStation 4 version. They doing what they done here. You got the Xbox One with a dynamic resolution. Could you forget about it? Could you see the memes now and everyone teasing all the Xbox? Like, damn, the Nintendo's console is more powerful than the Xbox One. Like to me, like I said, this to me is a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like to me, if you think it's ugly now, they already, it's perceived to be the weaker console. It is. Now you got a new console, even though that may be a ninth generation offering. It's out right now. It's coming out right now. Like, oh my God, it'd be a Holocaust out there, man. Like, what do you guys think about that? To me, they can't wait. They can't sit on their hands, man. They already behind the eight ball, man. How do you feel about that, T Reaper?
About Microsoft holding back.
Yeah, just waiting, sitting in their hands, just waiting.
Well, I agree with what Serial said earlier is it's all about who throws the first punch. You want to see who throws the first punch first, and then you want to have a reaction to the comeback. That's what happened in 2013. Is Sony came out first, they gave a punch, or sorry, that's what Microsoft did. They came the punch. Dom Maverick came on board. He basically spilled the entire, always online. Then Sony came around and basically shit on their faces, and then bam, there goes Microsoft. I think Microsoft learned from that mistake, and now what they want to do is they really want to see what Sony does, what Nintendo is going to do with the NEX, and then they're going to decide what they're going to do. You're right, Next Gen. It's not a good idea for them just to hold back while the finances just go right past them, and the other two make more money than them. But I think as Microsoft, I think they care more about how they're doing as a company as a whole than not
Oh, you're
just
right. You're
about
absolutely right. I mean, you're
about
absolutely right.
as just the Xbox brand in general. And as a company as a whole, they are still on top of both of them. So it doesn't really matter what Sony does, and it doesn't matter what Nintendo
You
does.
know what, April, AT Rip, you know what? That's from the business side. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Um,
But as
at business, let's be real, at business, Microsoft is they're better at business than Sony. Or Nintendo. I don't give a fuck how you spend it at business. But me as a gamer, as me as an Xbox fan,
yeah,
you know,
as a
I'm
gamer, you
like I'm
don't see
coming
it
over.
that
I'm coming
way.
from
As a
the
gamer,
OG
you don't see it
Xbox.
that way.
I'm coming from the OG Xbox. You understand what I'm saying? And where the OG Xbox was the bleeding edge technology. We never had a console with a hard drive with an internet port. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, you had the Sega Saturn and stuff and the Dreamcast, but you know what I mean, you had and online play and talk to your friends. That's the Microsoft that I fell in love with. You understand what I'm saying? That's what stole me from me being a PlayStation guy. You know what I mean? Because once the train, because once the Dreamcast fell off, or whatever the case may be, even before the Dreamcast fell off, I don't know what made me. Well, I know what made me buy a PlayStation over the Saturn, even though I ended up owning them both. Back then, Sony was the name to have. Okay, it was a Sony Walkman, Sony TV. Sony was the modern day Apple back in 1995, 94. So that's the reason why I bought the PlayStation over the Saturn, and I ended up owning them both. But that's the reason why I went with the PlayStation first. I believe it or not, I was in the mall and it was EBX Games, one of them stores like that, or before it became GameSpot. And I just so happened to walk past. I was in Livingston Mall, and in the mall, New Jersey. So I happened to walk past the store, I see all the kids, and what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this gray box? Like, oh, and like I said, I've always been a gamer, but I've never been into like I am into it now. I'm like, all right, I'll give me that, and I bought about 6 games, and oh, say you got a new system out too? I went back in 2 weeks and got that because I used to play the Virtua Fighter and all that stuff in the arcade. But I was more of a PlayStation dude than I was a Sega Saturn dude or even the Dreamcast dude. I prefer the PlayStation 2. But what stole me, like I said, from me being a PlayStation gamer, with here's was this box and I saw the graphics. Like, oh my god! I'm gonna be honest with you. I got my first OG Xbox. Forgive me, Phil, Bill Gates. It fell off the back of a truck. That's all I'm gonna say. My whole hood had them. White boy came through with a stolen credit card. He said, "Man, fuck that. I ain't buying PlayStations. I'm gonna buy you guys this Xbox." What the fuck is an Xbox? Man, we don't want that shit. Bring us some PlayStation. My white dude came through about 25 fucking Xboxes, and I've been an Xbox fan ever since. And and this is true goddamn so my god. And I had, I was able to put the CD in there. Said, look what you can do, bro. His name was Bill. White boy Bill. White boy Bill came. He was in the projects. He wasn't from the hood, but he used to be in the hood. White boy Bill. He had a AC/DC CD or some shit like that. Put that shit on my Xbox, and he ripped it. And that was like, man, what the man? Take that shit out. And I was able to put rap CDs in my Xbox. I was sold. But anyway, back to what I was saying. That was the Microsoft and stuff that I fell in love with, being the latest, greatest new technology. You know what I mean? Bleeding edge. Don't get me wrong. Microsoft is a software company. Both Microsoft and Sony have their strong points. What I mean by that is that Sony is their hardware company. They're good at making shit. The fact that they can have this powerful console and not have the power supply inside the console, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And here it is, the Xbox. When it comes to software, you look at the Xbox UI compared it to the PlayStation UI. You know what I mean? The fact that I can multitask and this, that, no, you know what I mean? All the things I can do on my Xbox One. That's what makes Microsoft great. You know what I mean? Not for nothing. I would love if they probably made a console together, but it is competition is good for everybody. It's not good to have just one, you know what I mean? Because then we get probably dicked around or whatever the case may be. But back to what I was saying, all Microsoft got to do is, like I said, forget about the media. You know what I mean? The public. You know what I mean? And just go for it. You know what I mean? I hate the fact that they tiptoe around everything. They second guess themselves. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I don't. People may hate Don Matrick and stuff, but he was like to the point. Like he was a shrewd businessman. You know what I mean? He wasn't a gamer. That's probably got that anemic ass GPU, but. You know what I mean? There was no tiptoeing around with him. Like to me, like even with the online stuff, like I don't know if you guys saw E3 2013. They showed all the things we can do on our Xbox One because it was always online. I love that shit. The public cried or whatever the case. That shit, they got rid of it. You know what I mean? Now we have the games like The Division. Give me another one.
Titanfall.
Yeah, always online. You understand what I'm saying? Who the fuck buys a next generation console that's not online? This is the way of the world that it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I don't like I said. I don't know, man. But I'm asking another question. A hot topic within the gaming community. How do you feel about Microsoft putting games now on Windows 10? How do you guys feel about that?
Better, actually. I can go on the go and play my game whenever I want to.
You got to talk about, bro. I can hear nothing you're saying. What happened?
I said I like it because I like Windows 10. I can go anywhere I want to with my laptop and play anywhere I want to. So and instead of having my controller with me, I can just play on the Windows 10. Or if I want to plug in a USB to the USB port, I can easily play whenever I want to.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, okay. Well put. Okay. So you don't mind gaming on the PC.
no, but I don't like it, of course. I'd rather play on my Xbox One, but there's no portable Xbox One. Microsoft will never come out with a portable Xbox like PlayStation has a portable PlayStation. Um, but Xbox doesn't want to go portable. They want to stay where they're at right now. So,
Oh, okay. What about you, TV? How do you feel about all this Windows 10 stuff and games on
Well,
PC?
yeah, I already covered that in one of my videos a couple weeks ago. But to me, I think what Phil Spencer's vision of the future of gaming, I understand his concept that he wants to bring the PC gaming community and the console community um, closer together. He wants to put both where it makes sense. You're right, where it makes sense to put both titles on the PC. But to me, what makes sense to Microsoft is money. So
Mm-hmm.
if they have the idea that if they put both games on both the Xbox and PC, and it will double the money, I see that just this point. But it's not like it's on Steam; it's on Windows 10 and Xbox. And to me, that still says Microsoft exclusive. You're right; it's no longer an Xbox exclusive, and that's where most of the community really gives a shit about. They care more about the how it's a Xbox exclusive, and
Yeah,
it's
you're
no
right. Only
longer.
when it comes to Microsoft, because no one's
Only when
talking
it
about
comes
it.
to Microsoft, you're right.
No, and
When it
there's no
comes
one's
to
talking about down about Street Fighter. Well,
yeah,
even not even so much Street Fighter. You hear Sony now saying that they may put what do you call it? PlayStation VR on PC. You understand what I'm saying? So like, only when it comes to Microsoft, like I said, is the issue. I can play God of War 3 right now on my Samsung 4K television. I don't even need a PlayStation because of PS Now. Now they have it on televisions. What I mean? But people still joke. Well, it's still a PlayStation exclusive. Like people like to blur the lines, quote unquote, and when it comes to Microsoft, like I said, that's just the media. But listen, I'm gonna do the say play the gift and the curse. I am from saying that you do need some things exclusive to your platform to sell your hardware. You know what I mean? Like you do need something like what I mean that's exclusive to your platform. Because
something
like I
that
said,
drives the community in.
yeah, that even though you don't, like I saying, this whole mindset of Microsoft now, they want their software on many devices as possible. They don't care. You can give words on your iPad and all that wild shit now. They don't care. They want their software on as many devices as possible. They are a software company. But like I said, I am from the mind for it that you do have to leave some things on your hardware because you're in the business of hardware. Some things on your platform to make it exclusive, even though these PC gamers or whatever, to entice them to buy your hardware. Now here's another thing. Here's the last thing we're gonna talk. Get the hell out of here. Now here it is. The most PC gamers that game on PC have shit rigs. I don't give a fuck what they say. Valve did the survey, and the Wii U was more powerful than most people rigs. Most people are playing games at most PC elitists are playing games at sub 1080p. I bullshit you not. That's a fact. It is what it is. Like what I mean, it is what it is. Most people are playing games sub 1080p. Now, with that being said, if Microsoft can reintroduce a console, right? This now I don't 4K native no, but for most likely be able to I should say upscale to 4K or whatever the case may be at about 450. You got Windows 10, and it's more powerful than my rig. I think that'd be a way that Microsoft can entice and enable, I guess, mouse and keyboard support for long as they, I say, keep it separate. Well, when people that wants to play with the controllers don't have to go against mouse and keyboard because there's no competition. You can't beat a mouse and keyboard. I don't give a fuck how good you are. It's nothing more accurate than point the mice, the arrow, point, click, and shoot. You know what I mean? If they can do that and say if you want to play against PC gamers like they do on Street Fighter 5, I have the option to play against PC guys or just PlayStation guys, right? If they can reintroduce slightly more powerful hardware at a minimum lock 1080p 60 frames a second, and like I said, can upscale, to whatever the case may be, to say 4K or whatever, you know what I mean? And then I think, like I said, Microsoft can probably entice some of the how you say quote unquote PC gamers. What do you think about that? To buy their hardware.
To buy their hardware to entice the PC.
Yeah.
So I think that to entice the PC, it shouldn't matter if you're gonna play games on PC and you're gonna complain about the resolution. If you're gonna complain about the resolution, you gotta make sure you at least have a rig that can do that resolution. If you just have a normal rig and it can just do the lowest resolution, and you're complaining that you want it 1080p, then you have to make sure you have that rig. And basically, it's basically you're taking all of the highest resolution and bringing it into the PC, elitists that have that powerful rig. To the ones that don't have that powerful rig, it shouldn't matter to them what resolution, because their nice little device can't do it. It's the same thing with TVs. You shouldn't complain about the console resolution if you don't have a powerful enough TV to do it. And you're right, not a lot of people, not a lot of casuals have a good $1,500, $1,000 TV that can do 1080p, 900p. Most of them just have 720p, so they won't be able to experience the 900 or the 1080p games that are out there. But
Hmm.
you have to, for the PC things. I think you have to give them a reason to pull them in, and not just some regular thing, because the dual concept of whether you can play PC against PlayStation, or Xbox against PC. Not a lot of people are up to that idea, but the ones who are think it's awesome. But you should want it for a majority of the population to like it in order to go after it.
Okay. Do you have something to add to that, Cyril?
I have no comment on that one.
Okay. Well, me, like again, if you ask most, well, in this within this gaming community, if you ask most people's combination is the Xbox. I'm sorry, the PlayStation 4 and the PC. They buy all their multi-plats, A, because they're cheaper on PC. It is on Steam. Um, and I think as a whole, the industry, you know what I mean, they like, I don't think digital games should not be $60. Like, I don't care, you're not getting the box, you know what I mean? Yeah, but that's another story in this itself. But but most people can say most people's one-two combination is the PlayStation 4 and the PC. They have the PlayStation 4 just for their exclusives, whether it be the God of Wars or the Gran Turismos, yada yada yada, and they can get, why buy an Xbox One, because I can get all of your guys exclusives on
On PC.
Windows 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On Windows 10. I prefer playing on PC. That's why I said with Microsoft, they're in a funny spot there. You know what I mean? It's got to be that, to me. They got will have to offer them something that's on par or maybe a little better. You know what I mean? Than their rig, and enable mouse and keyboard support. You know what I mean? But like I said, they have to keep that. And another thing, they don't like paying for an Xbox Live. PC guys don't like paying for shit. They want everything goddamn free. They barely buy games. They bootleg the fuck out of every goddamn thing. You know what I mean? But like I said, it is what it is. But like I said, first of all, like I said, I'm gonna thank you guys for swinging about me today. You have somewhere to go. You can't be here long. It's been fun doing this hangout. Is there anything you want to say before we get the hell out of here?
Yeah, I want to talk about the me as a gamer, and this goes to all gamers. This goes to Microsoft. This goes to Sony, PC. The companies only have to give you as a gamer, like the average gamer, one reason, one feature, and it doesn't. It could be anything. It could be TV. It could be an app that's only on that Xbox. It could even be a singular game that is better played on one or the other. A gamer only needs one reason to actually buy what they love so much and what they enjoy gaming on. And like you, NextGen, you said you play everything. So there must be at least one thing that you like on all sections that makes you want to play that. One thing. And to me, I think that one thing is enough to basically draw somebody in. Now, if that one person in question doesn't find anything they like on anything, then that's their problem, because nothing is interesting to them. They find more entertainment on PC or one or the other. But as a console gamer and as a gamer in general, I only need one reason to be pulled into something that I enjoy.
One reason.
One
One
reason.
mic, one mic, one mic. So, do you think you want to add before we get the hell out of here, Cyril?
I didn't hear what you said. What?
Is there anything you want to add before we go today?
Yeah. All right, this is gonna be a very awkward conversation, but the conversation is, what do you think 343 will come out with in the next year?
What do I think 343 Studios will come out within the next year?
Yeah, I mean, I have answers already, but I want your thought on it before I give You answer.
Microsoft has a weird way of keeping their developers, even though they say they don't, within the Halo world. They're going to come out. I think there's going to be another Halo game.
There
Maybe not
is.
Halo 6, maybe a Halo something another. Or what do you
Um,
have something you want to add there? What are you saying?
I know. I'm not trying to blow my cover or anything, but
Okay.
I know
Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We have an insider. We have some latest news now. Now, listen, this is not coming from Next Gen 720, but if it comes out to be true, you heard it here first. Bang bang. What is it? What's coming up from 343 Studios?
all right, there is not a Halo 6 coming out at all. They're not doing a Halo 6 at all.
Okay.
Now, Halo 7 will be coming out, but Halo 7 will be the last Halo series of 343.
Wait. So they're gonna bypass 6 and just go straight to 7?
Yes, but it's going to be the world's biggest Halo 7 game. When it comes out, um, all the Halo fans are just going to be probably upset. I don't know what they're. I don't know how they're going to react on it. I already know how it ends. I know how it begins, but I'm not going to spoil it for everyone. I already actually accidentally spoiled it for two other people, but that was by accident because we were like talking about a bunch of things at one time, and I just got caught up with myself. But um, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But if you want to know about it, I'll say it off mic and stuff.
Okay,
But
no problem. So you're saying that Microsoft's next Halo is not going to be Halo 6. It's going to jump straight to Halo 7.
yes, and there will be 8 missions only,
Eight
but
missions.
no campaign. There's no campaign at all.
So these are going to be online missions.
It's online missions. It's all right. It's similar to campaign, but instead of playing either solo or multiplayer with a friend right next to you, or a friend that is million cajillions miles away from you, you can
Yeah.
play online with 32 players, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not against each other. You're on a team.
Okay. So what you're saying? Let me get this right. That the campaign mode is going to be it's not going to be like the story thing we normally with co-op. It's going to be 32 people, and we all trying to conquer one objective online to go to the
It's not
next mission.
a one objective. It's thousands of objectives. Um, You know how like in Halo 5 and Halo 4 you had to go against a lot of enemies on campaign? It's similar to that, but no campaign. They're just wiping the campaign because they're like, it's the last series of the series, and they just want to go big or go home kind of thing. So they're making it the biggest game of the year for Halo 7.
Okay, so will this Halo release on the next generation Xbox? Or will it be released on Xbox One?
Well, first off, there's no next gen, and second off, it's only going to be released on Xbox One.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're saying this is the last console for Microsoft here?
This is the last console for now until 2025.
Oh, so what are you going to say? We're going to get upgrades along the way?
Yeah, like we just had an upgraded dashboard. So the next thing that they're going to upgrade is the hard drive.
So what are you going to wait? Damn. So you're just trying to say that Microsoft is not going to do any more hardware until 2025? What are you going to
Yeah,
do with the GPU and the CPU? That's going to stay the same?
it's going to stay the same for now. I just got off of a meeting. I just got back from a meeting with Microsoft. So
Wow, Jesus to have the same GPU and CPU for 10 years? That'd
yep.
be by then 4K be mandatory. The Xbox One can't do that. That'd be 8K
The
10
next
years from
gen
now.
that they're thinking about coming out with is an 8K gen.
Oh,
Sony already has an 8K TV that's out.
yeah. Okay, I can dig that. That's the next thing. But okay, all right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he's saying that Microsoft's next Halo it will not be Halo 6, and it will be Halo 7. And Microsoft is not releasing any hardware until 2025 or 2020. You said 2020.
2025.
2025. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for listening, rocking out with us. Share the video on Twitter. Hit the thumbs up. I'm gonna leave the link down here to you guys, to these guys' channels, and thank you for rocking out with us, man. It's been real. Bang
Thank you
bang.
so much, NextGen.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah,
We gotta do it again, man. Appreciate it.